All right, good morning. Today we're doing a major brake overhaul on Mr. Postman. We got front pads and rotors and rear drums and shoes, parking brake cables, and new front brake calipers. Very nice. Very good. Because the brakes are getting really scary. I've burned through 3 sets of pads and rotors since I've had this thing over 5 years. And I just kind of want to rule everything out for why that's happening. And also the parking brake is getting very loose, so I think it's in my best interest to service the back and replace the cables as well. So we're going to start first on the front. We're going to get it up in the air, take the wheels off, and change the calipers. Okay, so we got the car up. This is the right hand side. This side isn't as problematic as the left hand side, where I'm almost certain the caliper is seized. See, the problem, the pads and rotors aren't actually in too worse of shape over here, but it's just like something's going on with the calipers. I think they're seizing or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna get this bracket off here. I think, yeah, this is 17 for the caliper bracket bolts. There's 2 of them. Might take some convincing to get these off, but it'll happen one way or another. Okay, so got the caliper bracket off here. Slider pins are pretty stiff, especially the top one. These are the pads. As you can see, they were wearing unevenly, especially the front one from the slider pins. This is the rotor. I think this is a Brembo OE replacement. Looking into the fins, however, you can kind of tell that they're full of it, because they advertise like this new fin design that they use on every rotor that like isn't a full continuation, and it's supposed to be better for airflow and lighter, but it's just the same fins that are in every other rotor. There's no difference. And seeing how easy they warp, I don't think I'm going to be buying those ever again. Here's my crusty frickin' amazing knuckle. I didn't realize that heat shield's gone. Heat shield is completely gone. So that's interesting. That's really neat. Yum. Love it. So I got the caliper hanging out up here. She's looking pretty rusty as well. I'm gonna get this banjo bolt off. It's a 14. And then we're gonna install this new caliper, and which does come, thankfully, with all new hardware. Got a brand new banjo bolt, washers, hardware for the pads to sit in, and the caliper. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one off. I got my cardboard here so it don't drip onto the driveway, because as everybody should know, brake fluid is highly corrosive and will eat your driveway. So we're gonna cut back once I have this off. Okay, So we got the old caliper off, got the new caliper next to it to mirror match. Interesting washer design for the banjo bolt from the OE. It's like this weird conjoined double washer, whereas what they've included in the hardware kit is more traditional. It's just if I can figure out where I put it, it's a traditional like double copper washer setup. So that's a interesting difference, but I'm not too concerned about it because I think either way it's going to seal properly. That's not a problem that I'm going to have. It would be really nice if I knew where I put the hardware. Oh, here it is. Okay, so with these washers, what you really want to do when you're installing these is one is going to go on the bolt itself like that, and then the other one is actually going to go onto the caliper back like on here. That way it's sealed on both ends. So I'm gonna put this on the knuckle first, I think, before I mount the hose. Okay, so there's the brand new caliper. I'm gonna torque the caliper bolts for the mounting bracket to 79 foot-pounds. The torque for the banjo bolt is 22 foot-pounds. Unfortunately, I cannot seem to find my 3/8 torque wrench, so I just did that by feel because I didn't really want to go reefing on it, and it's letting me know that it's not willing to move anymore just based on how it's responding to additional torque. I used a 1/4 inch ratchet to tighten it so I wouldn't over torque by accident. A good tip that I'm not using is to turn the caliper that you're working on towards you. That way you don't have this issue of the bumper getting in the way of your torque wrench. Which, you know, why would I do anything that makes life easier for myself when I can struggle? There's one. And there's two. Okay. So now I'm gonna take the caliper off the bracket and make sure that there's grease in these slider pins, and then we're gonna install the new rotor. Now, a good tip is if your hub is really disgusting, to clean it up with a wire brush and then put some brake lube on here or anti-corrosion paste, because this is a crucial point in having the rotor sit flush with the hub surface in order to reduce vibration. You'll thank yourself. Okay, so the rotor's on. Now, something that I usually do that a lot of people are controversial about is I put anti-seize paste under the rotor and also under the hardware where it clips into the caliper mounting bracket. The reason I do that is because when I used to do brakes at Toyota and Canadian Tire growing up, I always found the hardware would stick and get stuck in the caliper bracket if it got really badly corroded. So I like to take that precaution. Now, these are the pads. They've got this strip of like some sort of alloy on them to help with break-in. It also came with its own hardware, but I'm not going to use that because I'm just going to use the hardware that came with the caliper kit. Now, what they also included is lube. So this is a silicone lubricant. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna put that on the pad backings to kind of quiet it from vibration. So I'm gonna go put some gloves on and do that. Okay, so there we have it. Brand new caliper, rotor, pads. So the only thing left to do once we put the other side on is to bleed the brakes, because now that we've opened up the system, we've introduced moisture and that has to be bled out. So the way you're going to do that is through this. This is a bleeder screw. This is how you get the fluid out of the system without introducing air back in. I've got this system that I use with like a bottle and a hose that's put into it with a little pressure relief hole, so that it doesn't bring fluid back in, but it lets the fluid get pumped out. So that's how I bleed brakes. Now normally you start with the right rear and then you move your way around to the left rear, then the right front, then the left front, because you want to get progressively closer to the brake master cylinder as you're bleeding the air out. Now on this side, this is what I call the problem side. As you can see, this is the outside pad. This is the inside pad. Bald, pretty much. This is definitely what I'm gonna say is a seized caliper. I think it's just been pushing that brake pad right into the rotor with no remorse, because even on the back here there's a pretty defined ridge, and you know, the proof is in the pudding. The right hand side is worn nowhere near this bad, so good thing I'm doing this now. Okay, so now we're at the back. This is the drum brake hat that we're gonna have to remove. Usually they don't come off so nice, so I think I'm gonna have to smack it with a hammer a little bit. Might adjust the drag a little bit, because it seems a little excessive from how I adjusted it last time. It's really easy to lock up the rears. I might have to forego changing the parking brake cables for now, just because it's gonna be quite the job to do this, and I'm already kind of running out of time for today, so that's gonna be another time. But right now I'm gonna go and don my ear protection and eye protection and start smacking this. Okay, now that we're in there, this is what we're working with. So you got your shoes, your retaining springs, your master, well, your slave cylinder, and the adjustment at the bottom here for the preload. And then you can see the parking brake cable in there that we're not going to be doing today. Bearings might need some work eventually, but not today, I don't think. Alright, so now I'm going to take our little flathead here and start trying to MacGyver all this crap off. I'm going to start with these, I think. Seems like a safe bet. Might have to go get a hook. That might be the better tool for this job, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna need a hook. Okay, so I was able to do it with the screwdriver. So now what I gotta do is I gotta take this retaining clip off the back of the rearmost shoe for the parking brake bracket. That way I can transfer it to the new shoe. So I'm gonna have to try and pick this off with a flat head. Okay, so I got that pin out. Took a lot of work, honestly. It wasn't fun trying to get that off, but there you go, it's separated now. So I'm gonna try and lay it out on the ground here for you. So you have the rear shoe and the front shoe. The rear shoe is gonna be the one with the parking brake bracket. And then you're gonna have this adjuster that sits on the either the top or the bottom. I'm trying to remember here. The door is on the top, so I'm pretty sure it sits like that. Then you've got this spring that goes at the bottom, and then you've got two more springs. You have one that goes at the back, and then one that goes at the front, like that. Then you've got these two little springs that go on either side. And then there's a pin that comes through the back plate here. And then that's what all that stacks onto. And that pretty much just keeps this from slipping out towards the drum. And then you've got this piece here. But I'm gonna have to look at the picture that I took to remember where that goes. But I'm pretty sure that goes up here. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's all back together. I'm gonna have to readjust it because I had to stick the adjuster out to put tension on everything. Now I gotta go find the new drum hat. Over here. That ended up being a huge pain in the butt, putting all those springs back. Okay, so as you can see, the shoes are way far out. So now I gotta push that back in, the adjuster. Okay. Sorry there wasn't more footage of me doing the drums. Unfortunately, the situation with the drums is they're a pain in the butt, and I usually need both hands. Now I have no real way of holding the camera while I'm doing that. But I'll fill you in. All four corners bled, replaced. Come in here, parking brake feels solid. Brake pedal doesn't move. This feels very solid. I think this is probably the best the brakes have felt in a long time. And yeah. That's it for now. Next time I'll either be doing the parking brake cables or more rust repair, or both. Signing off for now.